That's a man.
Peyton Manning stepping out.
It's the Zion Show.
Pass is caught by Jones.
The following is a special presentation of Raycom Sports, home to regional college football and basketball.
Knowshon Moreno and the Georgia Bulldogs make their way inside Sanford Stadium for the 87th edition of Homecoming on this lovely campus at the University of Georgia. And the Vanderbilt Commodores have made their way south from Nashville to be the homecoming opponent once again for the Georgia Bulldogs. The last time they were here as a homecoming opponent in 2006, they came away with a win. It's our all-tell game of the week. Two 5-1 clubs ranked in the top 25. And hello, everybody. I'm Dave Neal, and welcome to a beautiful day for some Southeastern Conference football right here on Raycom Sports. As we mentioned, we've got a couple of top 25 teams. It's the first time that these two teams have met on the gridiron when they were both ranked in the top 25, and their first meeting was back in 1893. And as you look at the SEC East standings right now, the winner of this one keeps pace in the division standings. That's how important this game is for the Bulldogs and the Commodores. Well, joining me, as always, our quarterback of this operation, Mr. Dave Archer. And Dave, speaking of quarterbacks, let's talk about Vanderbilt's situation. They have struggled on offense mightily. They're changing quarterbacks this week, going with Mackenzie Adams as a starter. What does that mean, and what can we expect?
Well, we look for a jump start. That's what Bobby Johnson's hoping for, the head coach at Vanderbilt. Mackenzie Adams is no stranger to starting. Started the last 6 games of the 07 season. You see the numbers there. Mackenzie Adams has a better completion percentage. He's a little bit bigger guy. He has the ability to stand in the pocket and throw. And he's come off the bench this year and rescued this football team. Remember, they're 5-1. He came off the bench against Auburn and threw 2 late touchdown passes to help them win that football game. He's a son of a high school football coach. He knows how to play the game, and Bobby Johnson realizes to beat the Bulldogs today, they're going to have to make some plays in the passing game.
So Mackenzie Adams has been in this situation before, so this will not be a surprise whatever comes his way. Now, one other thing that we can count on as terms of quarterbacks is Matthew Stafford probably having another good game. He seems to be probably as polished and as comfortable as any quarterback in the country.
Had his first 300-yard game of his career last week against Tennessee, and that what he's done, Dave, is he's matured as a quarterback. We know he's got the measurables. He's big. He's athletic. He can make all the throws, but what he's done is he's become a quarterback that can manage a game, understands what Mark Richt and Mike Bobo, the offensive coordinator, want to do. He understands the shortcomings of his football team, and he's done a great job distributing the football. Matthew Stafford has made the next step to being a patient, solid quarterback.
And there is no question he is the undeniable leader of this Bulldog football team. Let's take a look at our Toyota keys to the game.
For Vanderbilt, they've got to open the doors, and by that they need to take advantage of all the turnovers. They're +7 in the SEC in turnovers. They need to take advantage of their opportunities. And for Georgia, they've got to dog them up front. They got to get that young offensive line coming off the ball, establish the run game, and get Knowshon Moreno going downhill.
SEC football is presented in high definition where available by Raycom Sports. Third member of our team, as always, you might know him as Dave Baker. We know him as Buzz. Let's go check in with him now.
Hey, Dave, good afternoon on a gorgeous day here in Athens. The Georgia Bulldogs won the toss, elected to defer, and that puts their defense on the field, and that puts the attention squarely on the shoulders of little Rennie Curran. Little from the standpoint of his stature, but big from the plays he makes all over the field. Yesterday, Willie Martinez, the defensive coordinator, said that he is the identity of this team. They thought he was too small to recruit initially, but they kept going back and looking at the tape, and every time they looked at the tape, the guy was making plays all over the field, and that's what you're going to see from Rennie Curran today.
Georgia won the toss. They defer, so Vanderbilt will receive. Blair Walsh out to kick it off for the Georgia Bulldogs. And a top 25 showdown midway through the college football season between the Commodores and the Georgia Bulldogs. It's the 21st time Vandy has been Georgia's homecoming opponent. They have won 3 of those games against the Bulldogs. Of course, the last coming in 2006. They also won back in 1994, and they did it again back in 1922. Mark Richt hopes that Alabama loss to his club certainly will keep them focused for the remainder of this season. And we are set and underway at Athens, Georgia. Line drive kick goes down to DJ Moore. Out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. In terms of completing his passes so far this season, Here's Sean Walker around that far side. He'll get it out to the 31-yard line. And our Budweiser starting lineup defensively for the Georgia Bulldogs. A front four that's, despite a loss, played pretty well.
Yeah, Jeff Owens out of that middle part, and Geno Atkins has stepped up big time in the middle for this team. Rennie Curran, you heard Dave Baker just talk about Rennie Curran. He's all over the field, leads the team in tackles, and their secondary is solid. Asher Allen is a guy you'll see come off the short side in the blitz from the corner position.
We've talked a lot about offensive lines in this league. There are a lot of good ones, but we might have two of the best secondaries going today. Here's Hawkins off the left side. He will pick up the first down out near the 38-yard line. Hit by Darrell Gamble and Rashad Jones, but not before the Commodores moved the chains. Coming off a disappointing loss to Mississippi State last weekend that broke their 5-game winning streak. Here's Hawkins. Out to the 42-yard line. Geno Atkins, the junior, able to bring him down.
Number 56, Geno Atkins.
Last week was a tough go of it for Vanderbilt, to say the least, against Mississippi State. I think a lot of people were looking at that game to find out, what was going to happen with Vanderbilt. So much national attention, and they just kind of laid an egg on the road. That's the best way to say it.
Well, credit Mississippi State, too. They played extremely good defense, but you're right, Dave. Bobby Johnson's team had a tough time getting something going.
Rennie Curran makes the tackle for Georgia. Pickup of about 3. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3.
Now this is where Vanderbilt struggled last week. Just 1 for 10 against Mississippi State last week, and that one time came in the 4th quarter. This will be a big confidence builder for the Commodores right here if they can convert against the good Georgia defense.
Vanderbilt 9th in the league in 3rd down conversions. Inside handoff to Jeff Jennings, and that's going to be very close. That looks like it'll be a left foot or right foot spot could determine the outcome of this 3rd down attempt.
Calling it 4th down. Well, this is a defense in Georgia that gave up 1 yard rushing to Tennessee last week.
Number 39, Brent Upson, in the ball game for Vanderbilt in punt formation. Number 6.
5 punts, 1 turnover on their opening drives this year, so make it punt number 6 for Vanderbilt. They were able to get the ball out over the 45-yard line. Brett Upson's punt, caught by Logan Gray. They will spot it at about the 14-yard line. So Stafford lines up in the shotgun. Georgia's offense averaging 33 points a game, 3rd in the conference. First pass and catch is complete to the freshman A.J. Green, who adds to his team-high totals. He now has 30 catches on the season.
Can take it home from anywhere on the field.
And some movement up front. Roderick Stewart might have gotten a head start, but was he helped?
Offsides, number 90, defense. The 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Good solid use there of the hard count by Matthew Stafford. And we talked at the top about Stafford becoming a guy that's a full-ranging quarterback that understands the game across the board. He knew it was second, shorter than 5, used the hard count, got the offside penalty.
So on 1st down and 10, the Bulldogs will line up out of the eye. Moreno gets a couple on the play. Time for our Nothing Like It, presented by Crystal. We are at a beautiful setting, one of the best. You know, we have the luxury of traveling around the Southeastern Conference every single Saturday, and when you haven't been here in a few weeks, you forget sometimes how these places are really museums. I mean, they're just picturesque. And Sanford Stadium, one of the best in the country. Over 92,000 will be on hand today. On 2nd down and 7. Here's Moreno. 1st down out over the 40.
Just a delay handoff to Moreno. Sean Chappis, the fullback's going to get a block on Benoit. We talked about Benoit leading the SEC in tackles. There's the block by Chappis, and Moreno cuts off. A good job of running to daylight. Here's the block I'm talking about. Chappis gets the block on Benoit, and that's a dominating block. Excellent job by the fullback.
Moreno, 2 carries, 15 yards. Good throw to Green. Makes a man miss. DJ Moore comes back after missing and finally brings him down. But another first down for the Bulldogs.
This is the ball to Knowshon Moreno. Moreno at the 25, down inside the 30 now. And Moreno hauled down near the 26-yard line. Just a toss into the boundary by Georgia. This is a play they love to feature. Pull Ben Jones, the center, out in front. Good job of Moreno. There's the classic stiff arm. Moreno so strong in the upper body and gets it down near the 26-yard line. So 1st and 10 Georgia now from the 26 of Vanderbilt. Stafford looks across and calling out some protection situations. Now turns, hands the ball to Moreno.
Moreno again the ball carrier, picks up the yard.
Inside the 25-yard line. Good job by Vanderbilt that time to hold the sweep play into the boundary in the middle of the game.
Number 96, Stephen Stone. Bring up 2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs at the Vanderbilt 25.
Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Hey, David Arch, take a look at Patrick Benoit, number 30, who's playing at weak side linebacker for Vanderbilt. Arch, I don't know how you tackle anybody, especially somebody like Knowshon Moreno when you're completely healthy, but then you get a club like that on your right hand. I think that would have to make things even more complicated.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dave, to be able to wrap up a guy like Moreno or Caleb King, who's in the game now.
Moreno dodges one Vanderbilt defender, throws it up, looking for A.J. Green through the back of the end zone. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Here's the 8th play of this drive already. A good drive by the Bulldogs, but they're looking at a 3rd down and a short 9, long 8. Caleb King in at tailback. He'll get the handoff. And he'll get just a couple of yards on that carry. And Patrick Benoit, our player, makes the stop for the Commodores, and here comes the Georgia kicking game.
Pretty good stop by Vanderbilt. You talk about Georgia leads the SEC in 3rd down conversions. We're a little conservative there. Ran the football on 3rd and long.
40-yard attempt is on the way. And it is no good. Blair Walsh misfires from 40 yards. He's only missed 2 field goals all season, 10 out of 12, and both of those came from over 50 yards, so somewhat of a surprise. But Vanderbilt holds. 7:16 to go in the opening quarter here in Athens. Georgia returned the favor.
And Dave, what we just saw from Vanderbilt is what they've been doing all year long. They let a team move the football. They haven't been able to stop it, but when they get in the red zone and get near the red zone, they come up with a stop, and then the missed field goal keeps them right in the action.
So the handoff to the near side. Jared Hawkins out over the 30. Gain of about 7 or 8. Nice 1st down play from the Commodores. Take a look at our Woodman scoreboard. Georgia Tech on top of Clemson in the 2nd quarter.
You got to be impressed at the way Vanderbilt has been able to come out and run the football here early. They moved the chains once, had to punt, and here they come out with a great 1st down play here to get 9 yards. So running the football early against a Georgia defense that's number 4 in the country against the run.
So Hawkins will be the single setback on 2nd down and short. Flag down. And Hawkins got a half a yard. I don't know if he got the 1st down. Jarius Wynn from the defensive end position makes the tackle if the play sticks.
Offsides, number 90, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And penalties, I tell you what, it has been a hot topic around these parts. The Georgia Bulldogs can't seem to keep it under control. But you look at the rush defense numbers, but the penalties are certainly a hot topic, and one of the reasons this team lost to Alabama.
And you're exactly right, Dave. The penalties have plagued this football team, but they have been solid against the run. Mentioned number 4 in the nation against the run this year.
Here's DJ Moore, gets the handoff, the defensive back turning into a little bit of a running back. Picks up maybe 8 on the play. DJ Moore, they try to get him a couple of plays a game, but he is on the field so much between defense and special teams. They don't want to wear the young man out, but they need him on offense right now.
Exactly right. They got to be careful about how much they use DJ Moore. And we asked Willie Martinez, defensive coordinator for Georgia, is there a red flag that comes up when number 17 comes to the game? He says, no question about it, but we just got to identify where he is. We still have to play our fundamental defense. That was a good job by Moore and his mates to get up the field for a big gain on first down.
So once again, second down and very short for the Commodores. Adams will throw, hits Sean Walker into Georgia territory. That's a first down. Brian Evans with the coverage. But boy, as an offensive coordinator, you've got to love those second and short situations.
It's the perfect scenario, Dave, because now all of a sudden you have a lot of things at your disposal. There they were able to get Mackenzie Adams off. He has not thrown the football. He does a good job there of throwing the slant route. And now your quarterback's in maybe a little bit of a rhythm. You got to throw out of his pocket. There's Ted Kane, offensive coordinator.
Talking to the Georgia coaches, they have a lot of respect for the guys on the other side. They've matched wits with them over the years, the Bobby Johnson crew and the Georgia crew, and a lot of mutual respect. A couple of tight ends on first down and 10. Adams, pressure comes, dumps it off to Hawkins. Heads up play by the quarterback, kept it alive, and pick up about 6 on the play. Rennie Curran on the stop.
Mackenzie Adams gets the start today, Dave. It's his first start of the year, and this is why. He has a unique sense of where his checkdowns are. Georgia's all over him, but he's able to find Hawkins out of the backfield and get something positive. And again, another solid first down play for Georgia, or for Vanderbilt.
Sets up a second down and 3 now. Remember, this is a Vanderbilt offense that last week just could not move the football. Jeff Jennings in at tailback. Jennings with the handoff, trying to work that left side. Nothing happening. Might have lost a half a yard. Justin Houston and Rennie Curran combined for the tackle. Boy, Rennie Curran, he is just a football body, football guy.
He just has a knack for getting to the football. There he is, hands wrapped around the legs. Also Justin Houston, the redshirt freshman, who this team's extremely excited about. They think he might be their next big rush in here, but Lee Martinez's eyes light up when you mention Rennie Curran's name.
I mean, he just is around the football. Just about every play, an amazing player. He's fun to watch. If you want to lock in on somebody, he's a guy you'd want to lock in on. It's a third down and 3 now. Pass batted in the air and intercepted at the 30-yard line. Rashad Jones with his second interception of the season.
Well, tough break for Mackenzie Adams, because once you let it go, you've made a good read. You hope things work out, but good job by Georgia to get their hands in the air to create the turnover.
3:10 to go in the opening quarter. Back after word from your local stations. Today's game is brought to you by Alltel, the official wireless partner of fans. At Sanford Stadium, we are scoreless. Dave Neal, Dave Archer, and Dave Baker. Glad you could be with us on our Alltel Game of the Week. Mackenzie Adams running the show today for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
That's a tough one for a quarterback. Ball batted down. He had an open receiver. Good job by Georgia to make something happen, get the hands in the air, create the turnover.
So out of the I formation. Toss sweep. Here's Moreno. Knowshon tripped up after a gain of 2. Tripped up by Myron Lewis, the cornerback, coming up to play that run.
We mentioned how good this secondary is, Dave. Myron Lewis coming up again, his 18th start. Came in 5th on this team in tackles. These are two really good corners, and then they're matched inside by 2 solid safeties.
This Vanderbilt defense is the real deal, folks. They've got players over there that could play for anybody in this conference, and they've got a lot of them. On 2nd down and 6. Stafford going up top. Wide open as A.J. Green makes the catch inside the 20. They will mark him out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Richard Langford came over to knock him out of bounds, but not before the Dogs picked up 49 yards.
That's a blown coverage by DJ Moore, and credit Stafford for seeing it. Moore should be getting depth with A.J. Green down the sidelines. He turned A.J. Green over to the safety, Richard Langford, and he was not supposed to. And those two guys had a little conversation, but not before A.J. Green put the Dogs inside the 20-yard line.
Georgia sets up at the 17. They'll work out of the eye again. 2 receivers to the top. By the way, 3 catches, 67 yards already for A.J. Green. Moreno. Maybe a yard. Ryan Hamilton, the safety, comes up to make the tackle. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 9.
Well, we mentioned these 2 safeties, Dave, and Hamilton comes up. He's number 2 on this team in tackles.
Hamilton, the junior.
Had a monster game against Ole Miss earlier in the year.
Yeah, 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery, a goal line tackle.
Took one of those interceptions back for a touchdown.
Little play action, Stafford to throw. Looking for Green. What a catch, touchdown Georgia. Wow, 17 yards. Is this guy a player?
Well, he's long at 6'4", and he's working against one of the best corners in the SEC in DJ Moore. Credit Stafford for throwing out where only his guy could get it, but look how long he is at 6'4", and then getting the knee down. DJ Moore, excellent coverage, just an outstanding job by a young kid to get his hands on the football.
Point after is up and good. That was the Stafford and Green drive. 17 yards on that touchdown reception for the true freshman out of Summerville, South Carolina. Yeah, I'd say he's pretty impressive. Back in a moment. Georgia 7, Vanderbilt nothing. How did Georgia get to 7? Well, let's look at our Texas Pete scoring drive. 4 plays, 70 yards, just over 2 minutes. And of course, A.J. Green with the big touchdown reception. His 4th touchdown catch of his young Bulldog career. How about Matthew Stafford has completed 4 passes today. He's 4 out of 5. All 4 have gone to A.J. Green.
Well, the big freshman has really stepped up big. His first completion was A.J. Green. First play of the game, and then the deep throw in that series to get him inside the 20, and then he came right back to the young man on the touchdown throw against man coverage.
So Blair Walsh will kick it off for the Dogs. Sean Walker working the left side, out over the 20 to the 23-yard line. Fans, get your cell phones ready. Time for our weekly interactive feature called the Alltel Text of War. We want your answer to this question. Which team do you want to win the game? Remember, it's not which team will win. Which team do you want to win the game? Be sure to text your answer to S1 or S2 to 55333. We'll update the results later in the show. So the Commodores have been able to pick up a couple of first downs, but their drives have stalled around midfield. Their last one intercepted on a tipped ball. How important is it to at least make some progress here and pick up 2 or 3 first downs?
Yeah, just get something going. They've done a good job of getting their drives going. Kinsey Adams got to take care of the ball.
He will take it out to about the 28-yard line. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Here's A.J. Green right here, and he realizes he's got one-on-one coverage to the inside. He's going to run the corner route. I'm sorry. He's working against DJ Moore. DJ does a great job of taking away the outside, but the young man is just so long at 6'4", able to reach out and make that play. What's a good throw from Stafford to throw it to the outside part and just let his guy go get it.
A.J. Green still talking about that touchdown. Here's Hawkins. A lot of red jerseys swarm the football as Hawkins gets to the 30-yard line. And that'll do it for the first 15 minutes of play from Athens, GA. And the Bulldogs will take a first quarter lead at 7-0 on the 87th edition of Homecoming here at the University of Georgia. We'll come back, have more of our All-Tell Game of the Week right here on Raycom Sports. SEC football is brought to you in part by Nissan and your local Nissan dealer. A crisp fall day here in Athens, where the Commodores looking at a 3rd down and 3 to open up second quarter play. Adams will throw, looking for the tight end. It is incomplete. Jake Bradford, the intended target, and Vanderbilt will have to punt. Take a look at our AT&T first quarter stats. Get a behind-the-scenes look at some of your favorite teams and players at AT&TBlueroom.com/sports. How about Georgia averaging over 10 yards per play in that first quarter?
Now, and only 14 yards passing for Vanderbilt. That's been their Achilles heel. Only 90 yards on the year per game. That's 116th in the nation in throwing the football.
Upson's first punt went 39 yards. This one will hit. Did it hit a Bulldog? I don't know. That's Georgia running off the field quite quickly as the ball settles in at about the 22-yard line. Timeout on the field. Matthew Stafford and the Georgia offense set to make another appearance. Back in a moment. Trailing by 7. Look at the yards per play for the Bulldogs. Almost 11. Knowshon Moreno, who just had that carry, has yet to get loose. Adam Smotherman on that tackle for the Commodores.
Well, Dave, this has been about A.J. Green. It came right out of the box and threw the ball to him there. Here's the 49-yarder that set up the touchdown. Great job of knowing where you're on the field, get your feet down in bounds, and then an excellent throw from Stafford to the outside against man coverage. A.J. Green beats one of the best corners in the SEC, DJ Moore.
Haven't seen that very often. Here goes Stafford on 3rd and 9 over the middle, looking for Massaquoi, and Muhammad makes the catch, and that'll be good enough for a first down near the 35-yard line. Myron Lewis on the coverage.
Well, where Georgia stepped up is they're just going against Vanderbilt's strength. We talked about this secondary. Myron Lewis working against Muhammad Massaquoi. Excellent throw to the inside, and a good job of Massaquoi gearing down to make that play. Buzz, let's go down to you.
Massaquoi and A.J. Green, they call him Tweedledee and Tweedledum around here. And Massaquoi, the senior, has really taken Green under his wing. But it's really been Green who has had the biggest impact on Massaquoi, because in situations like that, Arch, Massaquoi no longer getting double covered.
Little play action to Moreno. Stafford going deep, showing that arm and looking for Green. Can't make the catch at the 20. DJ Moore on the coverage for the Commodores. Here's Moreno trying to get the corner. Making a couple of players miss, and he'll pick up the first down. A gain of 12. Patrick Benoit brings him down. Not before. First down for the Bulldogs.
To run the football successfully, you got to have some blocking down the field, Dave. Chambliss gets the block at the point of attack. The fullback gets the block there just enough. And then look at the receivers trying to get in front. Just try to stay in front and give Knowshon Moreno an opportunity to run it.
There's Knowshon's family, including his grandmother. He's been here for a week now. Was here last week, decided to stay in the area and get a couple of games in before heading back north. Here's Stafford. rolling, having time, throw it on the run, looking for Massaquoi, but DJ Moore's there to pick it off. The Dogs have been picking on Moore all day, and he responds with an interception, his 3rd of the year.
This is one that Matthew would have been far better suited if he'd set his feet. He had enough time. He gets the boot, the edge is blocked. He could set his feet right here and let it go. But he tried to throw it on the run. And a good job at DJ Moore finding the football and getting back to it. Again, a ball a little underthrown. Massaquoi was trying to come back and get into it, but Matthew again just a little underthrown on the throw.
Hand off to Hawkins, trying to get outside. Gets it to the 5, gain of about 3 on the play. Rashad Jones comes up from a safety spot to make that tackle.
Rashad Jones made the stop for Georgia.
That's an excellent read by Rashad Jones to come all the way from free safety to make that play. Number 3 on this team in tackles. Does a good job of reading the sweep, ran through a couple of blocks, and put Hawkins on the ground.
This Georgia defense has been tough against the run. They've held 4 teams to less than 60 yards on the ground. 2 tight end set for the Doors. Here's Hawkins. Puts it back inside out near the 10. And that'll set up a 3rd down and short. 3rd down and about 2 as Geno Atkins comes in from a tackle spot to make that stop.
Good job by the center, Bradley Veering, to get a block on Akeem Dent, the linebacker, to create that running lane. That time for Hawkins. Offensive line for Vanderbilt doing a pretty good job of getting people blocked and keeping them in these kind of situations. They just have not been able to convert in 3rd and short.
1st and 10 line brought to you by KBI Incorporated. Igby, building vision, building relationships. 0 for 3 today. They only had 1 3rd down conversion last week against Mississippi State. Low snap. Adams will fire in a hurry. It's knocked away. C.J. Bird will get credit for the pass broken up. Brandon Barden was the intended target.
And the low snap creates this opportunity for the knockdown by Bird because this was a timing throw, just an option route. He's going to release straight up the field. Barden was going to release straight up the field, and Adams needed to get the ball out of his hand as soon as he turned, but because the ball was on the ground, he was late getting it out, allowed C.J. Bird to come up and knock it down.
Well, Prince Miller back to return this punt. Uga certainly like that defensive stand. Upson averaging 42 yards on 2 punts from his end zone. Good coverage punt, a high kick. Fair catch called for near midfield, and that's where the Bulldogs will have it. So excellent field position for the Bulldogs. And they lead it by 7 with 10:23 to go here at Athens, GA. Back after a word from your local stations. Closed captioning is provided by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. There is DJ Shockley, Georgia quarterback here from 2002 to 2005. You get to see him quite a bit.
Good guy, boy, good guy. With the Atlanta Falcons now.
Looks like a busted play. Stafford just trying to get out of bounds. Wishes he had the speed of a DJ Shockley on that play. And Moreno will lose a couple of yards. Back at the 45-yard line. Broderick Stewart, the junior out of Noonan, Georgia, making another big play for the Commodores up front. Would you play with a guy at the NFL level that kind of brought that? As Georgia sets up at the screen and nearly picked off by Patrick Benoit. They had a similar situation against Tennessee where a lineman was spying and Tennessee picked it off.
Well, this one is a screen to the back. That one you're talking about, Dave, was a screen to the wide receiver, but excellent read by Benoit. He's got Moreno in coverage, just read the play and broke on it and actually dropped an interception there.
Brian Mims, 5th in the conference, averaging over 42 yards a punt. He will stand at the 30. Jamie Graham and DJ Moore back to return this punt. And it's a good one, a high spiral taken by Graham at the 5 and hit on the spot. Good special teams coverage by the Dogs will back up the Commodores once again. 7-0 Georgia leads. Seven to nothing, Georgia out in front. It's our all-tell game of the week. Well, he should be happy with that punt coverage a moment ago, but I'm sure he was upset about the punt in general. The Dogs having to punt it away. Is that great? That'd be what my boy would be doing right now. He'd be crying because he'd want to be up here in the press box eating some of the food probably. So Vanderbilt backed up again. They were in this spot on their last possession and had to punt after 3 downs. Adams going up top. It's wobbly, looking for Sean Walker. It's incomplete. Bobby Johnson thought there should have been a flag. Asher Allen on the coverage.
Just a poorly thrown ball by Mackenzie Adams. He actually has a one-on-one situation with Walker on the outside, just doesn't make a very good throw. Bobby chattering at the official there. Felt like that maybe Walker was grabbed before the ball got there. Walker trying to gear down to catch that underthrown ball.
2nd down and 10 now with 8:51 to go in the 2nd quarter. Adams will keep it out over the 10 to the 11, but it'll set up a 3rd down and a lengthy situation again for Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's done a nice job today, Dave, of keeping themselves in manageable 3rd down situations. Bobby Johnson's crew struggled last week, just 1 for 10 against Mississippi State. But again, this is a very manageable 3rd down, 3rd and 6. These are the kind that you like to have if you're a play caller.
Mark Richt on the near sideline, imploring his crowd to make some noise.
DJ Moore right here.
They'll go the other way and get it to Jared Hawkins with a nice grab and picks up the 1st down. How about the catch from Hawkins out of the backfield? And he got a good block to spring him for the 1st down by George Smith on C.J. Bird.
Yeah, the first thing is an excellent read by Mackenzie Adams to drop it off in the flat, and then a tremendous catch by Hawkins in the flat. And then to get upfield, got a little assist, got a little block there from one of the outside guys, George Smith. Excellent catch by the young man out of the backfield. Those are the kind of plays you need to make. You're struggling a little bit with your passing game. Got to squeeze those that sometimes slip away.
1st down and 10. Adams has time to throw. Hit the tight end, Brandon Barden. Will take it out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Rashad Jones already with 4 stops today from his safety position. Put our Woodman scoreboard. Georgia Tech on top of Clemson.
Texas Tech hanging in there, one of those undefeated teams in the Big 12. All those teams are going to start playing each other pretty soon, and obviously a big one later on with Texas and Missouri.
So 2nd down and 5 now for Vanderbilt. Commodores have wrapped up 89 yards of offense. Georgia with a $149. Hawkins making some people miss out near the 40. That'll bring up a 3rd down and short. Prince Miller finally brings him down, but Hawkins 5'10". They list him at 5'10", 200. Not a real big back, but he's a guy that can carry the ball for them.
He really is a big-hearted guy, too. They say that his motor's running all the time, and he did a good job there because Roderick Battle had blown up the play, and he sidestepped him. And again, here we are, Dave, in another 3rd and short situation for Vanderbilt. They've done a great job of keeping themselves in these situations.
Hawkins 8 carries, 37 yards today. Georgia looking at a 3rd down and 1, as you can see on our Academy Sports down and distance marker. And a timeout taken by Vanderbilt, their first.
First charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
We will return to Athens after this message from the Southeastern Conference.
Dave Baker back here down there on the field at Between the Hedges in Athens, Georgia, as the Dogs lead Vanderbilt 7-0. Dave Neal, was a situation There was about 5 seconds left on the play clock, but Bobby Johnson made a sprint about 10 yards to the side judge to call the timeout. Had to be a situation where he didn't like the formation because it looked like they were going to get the play off before the 25-second clock expired.
Well, we'll see what they dialed up during that timeout. A handoff to Jamie Graham. Out over the 35 to the 37, a first down, but not before Darrell Gamble makes the stop, and along with Jeremy Lomax. Jamie Graham, a young player, multi-sport performer at Vanderbilt, plays on the basketball team. He is an electrifying athlete, not exactly the 4.3 speed guy, but very elusive.
Yeah, they love to get him the ball in space and let him try to make people miss. Did a good job there, and great blocking on that right side for Vanderbilt to create a crease, just a 3rd and 3 play, and went with a horizontal running play, and he was able to turn it up to get the first down.
2 tight end set on this 1st down and 10. This drive started back at the Vanderbilt 5. Adams flushed out of the pocket, lofts it up in the air, picked off by the Bulldogs. Darius Dewberry, the junior out of Fort Valley, Georgia, with his first pick of the season. Pressure came up the middle from Brandon Wood that forced him out of that pocket into a bad throw.
Well, it's a bad decision by Mackenzie Adams. It's a ball you got to throw out of bounds and regroup. They've done a nice job of taking care of the football, and here Mackenzie's first interception was a tip ball, but this one he just forces into coverage, and Darius Dewberry comes in for the linebacker spot to take it away. Just kind of threw it to him. That was one that you throw it out of bounds. I guarantee Bobby Johnson's having that conversation with him. Throw that one out of bounds, son. Let's line up again some other time.
That's a tough interception, too. You'd gotten yourself out of trouble, backed up in the end zone. You're looking at a 1st and 10 near midfield, and now Georgia sits at the 44. Boy, Stafford looked a little confused. It looked like Massaquoi was setting up to block for A.J. Green and had no intentions of turning around for the football.
He wanted to throw the football to A.J. Green, and when he turned out of the play fake, he couldn't find him, and the only guy he could see was Massaquoi, so he threw to color. And he threw to the colored jersey, and Massaquoi was the wrong guy.
Boy, the Commodores, it's hard to put points on the board when you start every drive inside your own 20. That's what Vanderbilt has had to deal with today in terms of an average. Here they go out of the eye to the Bulldogs. Good spin move by Moreno. Knowshon driving, powering his way down to the Vanderbilt 42. He met up with Rashad Langford, another big hitter. But a first down for Moreno and the Dogs.
One of the reasons Georgia implements the fullback is because of the way they block. And Chappis is going to get another big block out in front that creates an opportunity. Of course, Knowshon's move in the hole to make a player miss. And that's for 2 pretty good football players going head-to-head. Langford and Knowshon Moreno.
Moreno averaging 7 yards per carry today. Here's Moreno. Huge hole off the right side. Knowshon inside the 25 to the 24. DJ Moore brings him down. That's another Bulldog first down.
Excellent job of creating a crease for Knowshon Moreno, and it's because of the group that they saw on the field. The reason being is you see this defender out in the slot, that's a defensive back. So they have 5 defensive backs in the formation so they can run the football against a 6-man front. And that's what Matthew Stafford saw. He checked to the run and got Moreno the running room.
So Georgia quickly back to the line, and a quick throw to the far side. Here's A.J. Green trying to make Moore miss. Moore hanging on before he gets some help. Only a gain of 2. Patrick Benoit comes in and finally knocks him to the ground.
Well, A.J. Green has given this team a lot of trouble, and in particular DJ Moore, but DJ trying to hang on, and he gets a help from the leading tackler in the SEC and Benoit, the linebacker spot. They've had a tough time corralling that young man.
A.J. Green, 5 catches, 86 yards here in the opening half. 2nd down and 8. Caleb King in at tailback. Stafford, wide open. A.J. Green down at the 10. Just kind of sat down in the middle of that zone. Wide open before Ryan Hamilton was able to hit him, but that'll move the sticks again.
Yeah, a little two-man route that time. A.J. Green and Massaquoi. And A.J. finds the hole. 6 catches, 99 yards now for A.J. Green. That's his second best day as a Bulldog as far as yardage goes. He had an 8 for 159 against Arizona State. I'm sorry, against Arizona State.
Look at our red zone powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. Stafford looking, firing to the corner, and Massaquoi, touchdown, Bulldogs. 9 yards, and boy, did that look easy.
Well, you got that right. Man coverage on the outside again. We talked about Lewis and DJ Moore. It's just a play-action fake, frees the safety. That's Hamilton up short, and just a corner route run by Massaquoi against Myron Lewis. No help to the outside, and right on the money was Matthew Stafford.
Point after by Walsh is up and good. So Massaquoi with his 4th touchdown catch of the season. He's now caught a pass in 28 straight games. Georgia leads it 14-0. Back after a word from the SEC. Georgia leads it 14-0. A couple of touchdown passes by Matthew Stafford. As you look at our Texas Pete scoring drive, that one 57 yards. Capped off by the touchdown catch from Muhammad Massaquoi. Dog fans are dancing here at Sanford Stadium. And why not? Your team's leading by a couple of TDs. Josh Allen will take this kickoff out over the 25-yard line.
2 interceptions around midfield.
Right back comes Mackenzie Adams with a bullet for a first down. Sean Walker with that catch. Asher Allen on the cover. Let's go back to the TD.
Yeah, here it's man coverage. There's the 2 corners right here, and they're locked on Massaquoi, and Massaquoi going to run the corner route in behind DJ Moore. There's the corner now. You see A.J. Green turn to the outside, pull the corner up, and then he's one-on-one working against Lewis to the back flag. Excellent job to read the coverage. Just a 2-man route out there, Dave.
Off left side to Jeff Jennings. He gets a couple on the play. Let's go check in with Dave Baker. Buzz.
You know, Dave, there's so many different things about this Vanderbilt team. When we say this isn't your father's Vanderbilt team, the one thing about this club here is they've been in this situation before. In fact, in every game they've fallen behind for whatever reason, but they've kept their composure, and they certainly don't look like they've lost any composure behind Mackenzie Adams.
This is a resilient quarterback now. This kid went on the road against 6th-ranked South Carolina last year in his first start and won. Did a good job coming off bench against Auburn this year, too.
Boy, that pass hit Asher Allen right in the chest. George Smith was, I think, the intended target. But it looked like he was throwing it to Allen.
Well, George Smith wanted to gear down. He saw that Asher Allen's out in the flat, so he's going to gear down. He's going to sit it down. And Mackenzie Adams threw the ball as if George was going to continue across the field. See, he sits it down. He's going to sit it down in that hole. And Asher Allen, had he not been looking at the receiver and at the ball, he would have picked that one off.
It's a good thing that Adams threw it like a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He bounced about 10 feet off the shoulder pads of Allen. Adams now 5 of 11, 40 yards, 2 interceptions. He's looking at a 3rd and 9. He will keep it. And he will pick up the first down or be very close to it. He needed to get to the 46. We'll see where that spot is. And it will be a first down.
This is where Mackenzie Adams, he's a very athletic guy, 6'3", 215 pounds. He's not as elusive as Chris Nixon, the starter prior to him, but he is a hard runner.
Vandy quickly to the line. Throw near side to Graham, who spins inside Georgia territory. Number 47, Asher Allen, working for Georgia. The junior out of Tucker. I like Jamie Graham. I think we're going to see a lot of Jamie Graham, and not only in the coming games, but as his career unfolds. I like what he does. I like the fact that he gets open, quick feet, makes people miss. They're going to Graham again. And a flag comes in. That may be offensive pass interference.
It certainly looked like Asher Allen had done a nice job of establishing his position on the field, and that Graham may have tried to climb over him to make the play, but Allen had taken away the route up the sideline.
Pass interference, number 2, defense.
Wow.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Vandy will take it, I know that.
I'm not sure what else Asher Allen could do. He established himself, his position, and then Graham comes over his back to try to make the play. Well, that certainly looked like anything, maybe a no call.
Maybe there was a bump early and we didn't see it, but late in that pass route, it looked like Asher Allen was in complete control of the situation. So Vandy now at the 32 of Georgia. Pressure comes, batted in the air, and nearly picked off by Darius Dewberry. He already has 1 INT today. And Gamble is still down for the Bulldogs.
Well, watch the heat they bring. Rennie Curran comes to the outside, and here comes Gamble right up through the middle. He's the guy that gets his hands on the football, and then Dewberry tried to do the juggling act and come up with it. But I think that Gamble hurt his back, Dave, as he dove in the air. He hyperextended his back. Tremendous effort by the sophomore middle linebacker.
And you know, Gamble filling in for Ellerby, who was their starter and preseason All-American in some people's books. And Ellerby still out with an injury, and Gamble filling in for him. And Gamble's certainly a quality player in his own right. So Georgia battling the injury bug, not only offensively but defensively. Adams moving around, gets down to the 25-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. Adams passes incomplete, or they'll say it's caught, and a flag comes out.
Yeah, Brian Evans is going to come over the back. A Walker coming to the inside. It's going to be a pass interference call is what they're going to get here.
Pass interference, number 3, defense. The penalty is a first down at the spot of foul.
Now Georgia's dialing up some pressure. Dewberry pushes the tight end right back into Adams. Well thrown ball low into the inside, and the call was that Evans came over the back of Walker before the ball got there.
So a 7-yard penalty will set up a 1st down and 10 with 28 seconds left. Vandy still with a timeout. They may not need it. Going for Graham. Touchdown! Vanderbilt. What a drive before the half. 18 yards. I told you Jamie Graham was a playmaker. Come on.
You like it. Jamie Graham lined up outside one-on-one with Brian Evans. Young man that was just called for the pass interference goal, and he's in good position. At that point, you got to go up at the highest point and take it away. Graham does that. Evans does not. And Vanderbilt is on the board.
Brian Honfeld on for the point after. It is up and good. Well, the Bulldogs helped Vanderbilt out on that drive with a couple of pass interference penalties to keep the drive alive. Vanderbilt will take them. And they cut the Georgia lead in half with 22 seconds to play before intermission. Well, just like every week, Rascal Flatts open the telecast with their hit Bob That Head from the album Still Feels Good. The guys teamed up with volunteers from the Home Depot Academy of Country Music, Kaboom, and Birmingham community members this past Wednesday to build a playground in just one day at Princeton Alternative Elementary School. The playground's design is based on drawings by children at the school, and you can see the guys act there. I mean, they were out there breaking a little sweat. Gary LaVox, Joe Don Rooney, Jay DeMarcus. They were the recipients of the 2008 Home Depot Humanitarian Award at the 43rd Annual Academy of Country Music Awards this past May out in Las Vegas. And they do a lot of charitable work around the Southeast and around this country. So good work, guys. Texas Pete scoring drive.
Well, it's an excellent job. Obviously, they benefited from a couple of penalties. The big one was on Asher Allen. It looked like he was in pretty good position, the pass interference call. But the excellent job of Mackenzie Adams bouncing back from a poor throw that led to Georgia's second touchdown to move his team down the field and put him in the end zone. Jamie Graham, excellent catch to put it in the end zone.
Here's the true freshman Richard Samuel on the kickoff return. He's met at the 20 and stopped there. Stafford will throw. Out to the far side. Kenneth Harris will get the grab and get out of bounds with 8 seconds left to play. Be sure and warm your soul with new fall specials from Carrabba's. Marsala di Carrabba and Risotto de Mare available for a limited time.
You can see more of this now after what Matt Ryan did with 11 seconds last week for the Falcons.
Bruce Fowler getting after it over there on that far sideline, isn't he?
He is. He saw the same game we saw on Sunday against the Bears and the Falcons.
Caleb King. That'll stop the clock with 1 second. If he picked up the first down, they'll reset the chains, and then everybody will head to the locker room. So a couple of 5-1 clubs. Bruce Fowler's defense gave up a couple of TDs to Mark Richt's offense, but the Doors responded late with a touchdown to make it 14-7. Hanging in here against the 10th ranked team in the country. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Mark, disappointing, I know, for you that last drive, but before that, you get 2 turnovers, turn them into 2 touchdowns.
We did. I'm proud of our guys. I knew Vanderbilt would not go away easy. We went ahead 10-0 2 years ago in this very spot. They came back to win, so our guys know they're in for a fight, big time.
One thing you've done, though, is you've got Knowshon running the football, and then you got Massaquoi and Green providing tough matchups on the outside.
Well, that's the key for us. You know, those are the 3 key playmakers. And Stafford, of course, getting it to them, and we want to continue to do that.
All right, thanks, Mark. Yep. Mark Richt and his Georgia Bulldogs on homecoming Saturday go to the locker room with a 14-7 lead over the Commodores of Vanderbilt. The Georgia Bulldogs turned 2 turnovers into 2 touchdowns, 1 each by Mohamed Massaquoi and A.J. Green, and they lead the Vanderbilt Commodores in this top 25 matchup 14-7 here on homecoming Saturday. Dave Baker back here with you on Raycom Sports exclusive coverage of Southeastern Conference football. Yeah, Georgia got those 2 touchdowns, but the big play of the first half may have come right at the end of the first half as Mackenzie Adams leads the Vanderbilt Commodores back down the field, and look at Jamie Graham like he's going up for a rebound for the Commodore basketball team. He pulls down the jump ball and gets the touchdown. And Vanderbilt, as they've done all season long, they're coming back once again as they pull it to within 7 at 14-7. Time now to take a look at our Advanced Auto Parts drive to the SEC Championship standings. And here in the East, this is why this game is so important. Not only a top 25 battle, but you see Georgia and Vanderbilt trying to battle to stay in touch with Florida in the East. And in the West, Alabama coming off that bye week as they take on Ole Miss a little bit later this afternoon, and LSU waiting next week for these same Georgia Bulldogs. Time now to take a look at our Ronald McDonald houses throughout the Southeast and the great job that they do. They serve as a home away from home for families with seriously ill children being treated at local hospitals in 30 nations. This week's salute is the Ronald McDonald House of Atlanta, which offers the comforts of home to families in 52 counties across Georgia, North Carolina, and Alabama. For more information on how you can support the house that love built in your area, visit the Ronald McDonald House Charities website. The Georgia Bulldog Red Coat Marching Band entertaining the homecoming crowd underneath the beautiful skies here at Sanford Stadium. Great game as the Dogs lead by a touchdown.
Stick 'em! Kick Vanderbilt!
Oh, and the Super Dogs are out. And they need all the help they can get because Vanderbilt is more than a little game. 22 is Vanderbilt ranked, the Georgia Bulldogs 10, and only a 7-point difference here at halftime. Time now to bring you to Cooper Tire's big stop of the week, Arkansas. Two huge defensive stands last week. The Razorbacks forced Auburn's Cody Burns into 3 straight incompletions to stop a Tiger drive on the 5-yard line. And then on Auburn's final drive with 29 seconds left, safety Matt Harris made a diving interception to seal the game. And that's the Cooper Tire's big stop of the week as the Razorbacks beat Auburn 25-22. All right, time now to take a look at our Outback out-of-town scoreboard. It's brought to you by Outback. There you see Georgia Tech hanging on to a 14-9 win or lead rather over Clemson. We'll get it in a second. Wake Forest trailing Maryland. That one also in the third. Texas Tech trailing Texas A&M at the half 23-20. Purdue looking to bounce back. They have not so far as they're getting doubled up at the break. Iowa on top of Wisconsin. Connecticut trails Rutgers. That one is also in the third. Nebraska shutting out Iowa State at the half. Memphis leads East Carolina. That one is in the third. Utah and Colorado State just getting ready to go. And South Florida on top of Syracuse. They are also in the third. The Red Coat Marching Band making great music, and how about the band that makes great music for us each and every week? School Flats getting it done, and we will as well after this word from your local Raycom station.
By John Briggle.
I'm Johnny Carrabba.
And I'm Damian Mandola.
And Carrabba's Italian Grill presents our favorite SEC moment.
Johnny and Damian actually voted on these as well. And you know what? It only took 2 years for Georgia head coach Mark Richt to capture his first SEC championship as he guided the Bulldogs to a 33 win over Arkansas. Georgia on its first 5 possessions of the game scored and led 23-0 at the half. Quarterback David Green, the game's MVP, as he passed for 237 yards and a TD, while running back Musa Smith rushed for 106 and 2 scores. It was Georgia's first SEC championship since 1982 as the Bulldogs finished the year with a 12-1 record. This SEC favorite moment is brought to you by Carrabba's. Good things happen around our table. And good things happen in between the hedges today as we've got a dandy for you. Number 10, Georgia leads number 22, Vanderbilt by a count of 14-7. Dave Neal, Dave Archer standing by to bring you the second half of action. Gentlemen, no surprise here. Vandy's come back all season long. We thought this was going to be a good one, and I think it's going to go right down to the last possession.
Yeah, Buzz, you know, the first 5 wins, Vanderbilt had to roll back from a come-from-behind victory, and, you know, they fell behind last week, just couldn't make up the difference. But today they hung in there despite Georgia getting off to a quick start.
Well, Matthew Stafford throwing to his young receiver, A.J. Green, got the first touchdown in the book, but he did a great job of finding him. But it's really been about 2 turnovers around midfield for Vanderbilt. This one led to the throw to Massaquoi. It ended up being a touchdown here, and all of a sudden Georgia had 14-0.
Well, don't count Vanderbilt out. They drove down the field, a couple of pass interference calls, and then it was Jamie Graham on the 18-yard touchdown reception. As we head to our Infinity first half stats, what sticks out as you look at those numbers?
Well, I think the fact that we don't see it there, but the fact that they ran 32 plays, I'm talking about Vanderbilt, 32 plays to Georgia's 29. Remember last week, 72 plays for Mississippi State, only 45 for Vanderbilt.
Well, in the SEC, every yard can make a difference this season. That's doubly true. Yesterday, we were on the Georgia Quad in the rain to celebrate the Regions Bank Life Green Checking and Savings. You see how much those guys are dedicated at Regions? They're wearing their $100 shoes in the mud, folks. Now, as part of SEC Yards for Trees, Regions will plant a tree for each yard gained by both teams in the SEC Game of the Week. To learn more, visit regions.com/green. Folks, we are at 5,113 total trees. I joke about them being in their seats and their suits, but certainly what they're doing is tremendous for our communities. Matthew Stafford and company ready to take the field in the second half.
SEC football is being brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, by BC Headache Powder, by Ruby Tuesday, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Geico, by Pizza Hut, and by GMC.
Well, the Vince Dooley Athletic Complex will be dedicated on November 29th before the final regular season game against Georgia Tech. There will be a sculpture of the coach from the championship 1980 season when he was carried off the field, and a garden on the corner of Lumpkin and Pinecrest to honor the man who spent 40 years here at the University of Georgia. Well, SEC football is presented in high definition where available by Raycom Sports. Let's go downstairs, check in with Dave Baker. Guys.
Bobby, your guys have done it so many times, but a great drive they put together right before the half.
Yeah, that was big. That'll help us confidence-wise, and, of course, gets us closer to 14 points that they have, and I was proud of them for doing that.
Again, as long as you don't turn the ball over, you're right even with folks.
That's right, and, we got to do a little better job on third down on defense. Gave them some first downs that we shouldn't have given them, and we got a couple big plays thrown over, so we got to be smarter than that.
All right, thanks, Bobby. Best of luck second half. That's Bobby Johnson, Dave.
Thank you, Buzz. The Commodores certainly in this football game. They got off to a great start this year, and it is an election year. Of course, the market's been up and down lately, and we decided to put together some statistics that kind of bear out that 5-0 start Vanderbilt got off to in 1943. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was in his third term. The Dow hovered around 135. Then in 1950, President Harry Truman was in his second term. The Dow was around 235. And then in 1956, President Dwight Eisenhower was reelected to his second term. It's one of those things, you make all those comparisons and you begin to realize how long it's been since Vandy's been able to put together this kind of effort on the football field. And I think without a doubt, it is a testament to Bobby Johnson and his staff for staying the course. So many times you hear, well, we're just Vanderbilt and this is going to happen. You never hear that from him. No, he expects to win every game.
You're exactly right, Dave. He is a guy that is stuck to his guns all the way through. He realized there's going to be a tough order to recruit against some of these teams in the SEC. He's done that. We were on the field, and he's got some big-time kids playing for him now. And that drive right before the end of the half, that was their longest drive of the season. Look for them to come out inspired on defense in this opening drive against Georgia.
I think this is a critical possession for Vandy defensively. As Marcus Brown takes it out of the end zone, trying to get that corner, and he'll take it out to the 25-yard line. And a loose football. Georgia able to fall on it right on that sideline. So the Bulldogs take a look at that fumble. It was ripped out of his hands of Marcus Brown.
And that's something that Vanderbilt has done all year long, is get the ball out. And that actually ball was on the ground. Georgia got back on top of it. Well, you look at those first half drives, and really the first drive limited to a missed field goal, but I think Vanderbilt's done a nice job of limiting what Georgia's been able to do. Now, Matthew Stafford's missed a couple of shots down the field on open receivers deep.
Georgia lines up in that eye. Toss sweep, Moreno. Cuts it back. Knowshon to the 40. And run out of bounds at the 46-yard line by DJ Moore. Knowshon up over 100 yards after that 18-yard pickup.
Well, Knowshon Moreno is the engine of this football team. He's a dynamic player. He finds holes where there's no holes. And he does a great job of getting downhill. He's a north-south runner. Doesn't spend a lot of time going sideline to sideline. And this is their favorite play. Pull a lineman out in front, get the fullback, Sutherland out in front, and let Moreno run to daylight.
Sutherland will stay in at fullback. You see 106 yards now for Knowshon on 12 carries. Give him 13 carries now. He is into Vanderbilt territory. We talk so much about the spread offense, but it's kind of nice to come back and look at Georgia line up in the traditional I. So many teams have gotten away from it.
Well, Mark Richt loves the fullback. We talked to him yesterday, and they have plays in for the fullback. They have a screen package that sets up the fullback, and he just likes it when you line up in the I and that fullback can bust that linebacker and get downhill with the running game.
And having Brandon Sutherland back, who was out with a bad foot for the first half of the season, the senior helping Sean Chappis, who's done a marvelous job as well. Certainly a big plus for the Bulldogs. Here's Caleb King. He's inside the 45 to the 44. Well, Bruce Fowler, the defensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, trying to dial something here to slow down this Georgia offense. On a 1st and 10, Stafford throws down the middle, looking for A.J. Green, and it is caught at the 11-yard line.
Hey, this kid's a big-time player. It's unbelievable. You see Steven Stone still down on the field. Outstanding pass rusher. Well, I'm sorry, Broderick Stewart. But there's the pressure. Stewart coming around the backside. But Green just, it's excellent coverage again by DJ Moore. He just misses the football. And outstanding concentration by the freshman, A.J. Green, to come up with the catch. He's now over 100 yards.
132, averaging almost 19 per reception. Look at Broderick Stewart, the junior out of Noonan, Georgia. A couple of sacks today, big-time pass rusher. Let's go downstairs, check in with Dave Baker.
Dave, we were talking yesterday when you and Archie and I were watching tape, and Mark Richt talked about the fact that a receiver has got the best chance of coming in and making a big impact as a freshman than anybody else on the football field. But you know, A.J. Green comes in. He is a guy that not only passes the looks test, but he's able to create some separation for himself. And he dropped a sure pass. You talked about it yesterday, Arch, last week, and came back. But he believes he can catch anything that is within his reach. He's got tremendous confidence and the ability to go with it.
Well, Buzz, he's certainly shown that today. He's caught him from everywhere. He dropped an easy pass last week, but Mark Richt says he's his own worst enemy. He beats himself up over that kind of stuff.
Take a look at our red zone powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. That was last week for the Bulldogs against Tennessee.
That's not very good, and that's the Mark Richt first got to tell you. They want to score touchdowns, and 7 times in with just 2 touchdowns is not going to get it done for him.
Here goes Moreno. Tripped up. Did he stay on his feet? Yes, he did. Touchdown Bulldogs. How does he do it?
That's an excellent job by Moreno to get to the edge. He got a really good block from Muhammad Massaquoi. And then it's just Moreno saying, I'm not going to be denied, and gets in the end zone. We've seen a number of runs in his young career like that already. And what they're going to check is to see if his knee touched the ground on this effort by Vanderbilt to get him on the ground. DJ Moore right there gets around the legs of Moreno, but there's no knee on the ground there, boys.
There is a left knee on the ground.
Dave.
Good look by our gang back in the truck.
Boy, that's a great shot by the guys to get this shot from up above, and this the bang bang deal. And there you see it, the knee on the ground.
So I think the Georgia offense will be coming out here back on the field. They'll have to figure out where the spot was, where he went down as well. That's the other issue they got to look at. I think it was pretty apparent that that knee did touch the turf.
But how about the balance of Moreno to stay up? Obviously the knee helped him, so that's obviously kept him up. But such a dynamic player, hard to put on the ground.
How about the combination? This three-headed monster. And I know a lot of people are involved in an offense, but when you talk about Stafford, A.J. Green, and Knowshon Moreno, I mean, just 3 playmakers.
And those two kids, one rusher over 100, a receiver over 100, and it's unbelievable.
Stafford today, 10 out of 15 for 163 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Of course, coming off his career high 310 yards through the air last week.
Now, it looks like this is going to be around the 12-yard line as we're going to have to mark this ball down where Moreno's knee touchdown. Now the 11-yard line, spot at the 11.
After review, it has been determined the runner's knee was down when the ball was at the 11-yard line. Therefore, it is 2nd and 10 at the 11-yard line. Second down.
One of the aspects of this Vanderbilt team that's kept them in some ball games is they've been good in the red zone as you look at the red zone powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience.
Yeah, 19 trips. They've only given up 9 touchdowns. That's outstanding defense in tight.
So a 2nd down and 10. Here's Moreno, left side. He should get to the corner, and he does so. Denied once, but not denied twice. Touchdown, Georgia.
And they caught Vanderbilt with their safeties up tight. Hamilton and Rashad Langford were both up tight. They're going to rush wide. Cordy Glenn, number 71, is going to get the block right there. 71 gets the block, turns Stewart to the outside, and then Moreno's speed gets him to the corner. And Vanderbilt's safeties got out of position a little bit and were not able to fill after the block from Cordy Glenn.
Going after up and good from Blair Walsh. The Bulldogs come out of the locker room at halftime.
Student Athlete Advisory Committee.
Now there is a Georgia fan, if you didn't know. I'm just here to help, folks. 21-7, Georgia out in front. You gotta love Southeastern Conference fans. You don't find it anywhere else. Here's our Texas Pete scoring drive, 73 yards. And, you know, you said it. What a statement drive by the Dogs.
Well, I thought that Vanderbilt would be inspired by that drive that they just closed the half out with. I thought their defense would come out inspired, but Georgia matched and exceeded whatever intensity Vanderbilt showed up with, because no question about it, a statement drive by the Georgia group up front, their offensive line.
Yeah, much maligned group due to some injuries. You're looking at 3 freshmen, a couple of sophomores, and boy, they just got it done on that drive. This kick will sail to Moore. He'll take it at the 2. DJ Moore dancing around. Look at him move. Oh, talk about elusive. Still on his feet and finally tripped up at the 27-yard line. Nice return, and Rennie Curran makes the tackle. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Safety right here, safety right here. They're going to run it out the gate this direction. Look for the Cordy Glenn block, number 71 right here. He's going to free it, and Moreno's going to step inside the block. And there's nobody there. The safeties are pinned to the far side of the field. Moreno's speed gets him in the end zone.
Just a lot of space for Knowshon.
Just a good job up front of blocking people and then getting the safeties caught up in the wash a little bit to get in the end zone.
So here's Adams. It's George Smith. That'll be a first down, a gain of about 12 on the play. Rennie Curran with the tackle. That's 5 stops for Rennie, the team's leading tackler. Look at the Vanderbilt first half possessions. Of course, that 75-yard drive right before the half with 22 seconds remaining. The only points for the Doors.
Now, and the 2 interceptions were critical because they both came at midfield, which gave Georgia the short field. One of them they cashed in for a touchdown.
And those interceptions were also after Vanderbilt backed up, made a couple of first downs, were moving the football. 2 tight ends set, and they'll work the near side. Here's Hawkins. And he is met by Darrell Gamble and Rashad Jones.
Good job. Georgia outnumbers Vanderbilt to the ball here. Good job, Jones. The safety steps to the outside. Gamble, the linebacker, slides to the end zone. They've got Hawkins leverage there. Really nowhere to go. Just a yard pickup on the play.
Second down and 9. Jared Hawkins, 9 carries, 38 yards this afternoon as the sun comes out here on a gorgeous day for some college football. Back across the middle, hits Brandon Barden, the tight end. He'll be 2 yards shy of that first down. That'll bring up a 3rd and short. Rennie Curran in on the stop again for Georgia.
That's a nice wrinkle by Vanderbilt offensively. Little bootleg fake off the toss. Finds his tight end over the middle. So good job of Mackenzie Adams. Looks like he's settled in a little bit, Dave, after the errant throw it was his 2nd interception of the day. Looks like he's settled in a little bit.
Look at our Suzuki scoreboard. The first score we gave you was Clemson now leading Georgia Tech as they come to a close in the 3rd quarter.
Well, you knew that had a chance to be a dangerous football team with everything that went on at Clemson this week.
And a timeout taken by Vanderbilt. We'll take the timeout as well. Vanderbilt looking at a 3rd and 2 when we come back. For the Doors on a 3rd down and 3, and he drops a snap.
Hey, they were going to run a quarterback sweep with Nixon in the game. He's a tremendous runner, second leading rusher on this team, but he drops the football in the shotgun formation. And a no pickup on third. That's the seven. They have had 7 of 8 third down situations that have been 3 or less, and they are now 3 for 8 in third down conversions.
Boy, it just looked like Chris Nixon just started to run before he had the football.
A little surprised. He's cold, standing on the sideline. Put him in for that situation to catch a football.
Upson's kick. Fair caught inside the 5 by Prince Miller. A 52-yard punt, no return. Let's go check in with Dave Baker.
Hey, Arch, here's something about that third down conversion. I don't think any of us would quarrel with the fact that Vanderbilt overall is a much better football team, but there's no Earl Bennett. And a possession receiver like that, with everything he did, they had confidence in going to him. They just haven't developed anybody like that to help them out on those third down situations.
Got a lot of young players, Buzz, and they George Smith has been hurt most of the year. And you're right, Earl had been that go-to guy for 3 straight years for this team.
Georgia now backed up. First down and 10. We'll go with a 2 tight end set. Stafford throws out of the end zone, and A.J. Green sliding. Can't hold on to it. Second down and 10.
You're going to have to credit Ryan Hamilton. Good play fake. Ball comes out quickly. It's a ball that's low, which is where you want it as a receiver coming to the inside. And I think Ryan Hamilton certainly had an effect on the young receiver. He knew that he was coming. Just couldn't squeeze that one in traffic.
Stafford with 2 TDs and an interception. DJ Moore picked him off back at the 3-yard line in the first half. Here comes Langford on a corner blitz. Georgia goes the opposite way. And Moreno picks up a yard before Broderick Stewart is back on the field for Vanderbilt.
Well, we said that was the last drive that ended up in the touchdown. Moreno's run for a touchdown, and we said it was a statement drive. And when you run the football 5 of the 6 times, and then the last play is the run for the touchdown, you were making a statement physically. The big catch by Green was the 1 reception in the game in the drive, but it was about the offensive line and Knowshon Moreno.
Moreno with 125 yards on the ground this afternoon. It looks as though some feet got tangled up. No flag, and there it comes. Comes in at the 21. Massaquoi covered by Myron Lewis.
Georgia likes to throw the little skinny post to the inside. We're just a little lean to the inside or a little dip to the outside, then break to the inside, and Lewis affects Massaquoi's ability to get back to the inside. You're allowed your ground.
Number 5, defense. The penalty is a first down. It's spot on the foul.
But you can't impede the receiver getting to his area, and that's what happened with Lewis there.
Vanderbilt, least penalized team in the league, but got hammered with some penalties last week that really hurt their chances against Mississippi State.
Well, they just have not gained enough yardage offensively, Dave. They can't give yardage away in penalties.
A 14-yard penalty, 2 for 19 today in terms of penalties for the Commodores. There goes Moreno, hit behind the line. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Well, he doesn't lose many yards. It's rare to see him go backwards with the football.
Coach Rick told us yesterday that he's seen Knowshon Moreno make some of the prettiest 2-yard runs he's ever seen in his life. And with this young offensive line, as many injuries as they've had, Moreno's had to minimize damage as much as he could. And there's been times he's been hit in the backfield like that one and been able to get back to the line of scrimmage or get something plus so they have an opportunity on second down.
Second down and 9. Stafford all day to throw. Batted in the air and intercepted. Myron Lewis will pick it off at the 26-yard line. What a huge break for the Commodores.
It looked like Theron Kadri gets his hands on it. 91 coming off the left side. No, take that back. It was Billinger. Billinger gets his hands in the air, bats it, and then just an unbelievable athletic play by Myron Lewis to make the catch over Massaquoi.
Vanderbilt now with 13 interceptions this season. They came in with 11, tied with Tennessee for the top spot in the Southeastern Conference. And the third pick by Lewis. Mackenzie Adams back in at quarterback. Here comes Walker. They'll play fake to him, and Adams will throw. Looking for Walker, and that was nearly picked off. Boy, Asher Allen had a read on it and just ran out of room to make the interception.
Well, he does a great job here, Dave, because they try to pull Asher Allen out of the coverage. They run a post route to the inside, hoping that Asher will follow the post route and then wheel Walker down the sideline, but Asher Allen stays home. That's outstanding technique defense, and playing what he's supposed to play is that outside third position, and he almost comes up with the interception. That's a good job by Asher Allen. He was not fooled and not messed up by the combination route.
Hawkins with the carry, and he is met by the safety, C.J. Bird. You know, back to Asher Allen for a moment. Just you talked about a lot of starts, a lot of snaps by that secondary. I think that's just a guy who's experienced. A junior out of Tucker, Georgia, has played since he got on campus.
And Dave, they play a technique here. They play a short side corner and a wide side corner. Asher Allen has been playing that wide side or short side corner for a long time. Got 4 tackles today, but he's a guy that'll blitz off that side too.
Vandy, 3 out of 8 on third downs today. They're looking at a 3rd and 8. Pressure comes. Vandy picks it up. Pass is caught by George Smith, and he's hauled out of bounds inside the 10 down to the 9 by Prince Miller. Boy, was Mackenzie Adams calm in the pocket on that throw.
Tremendous protection this time up front for Vanderbilt. Allows Mackenzie Adams to stand in and find George Smith running a little short drag across the field. He had to wait a long time for Smith to beat Bird across the field on the crossing route.
A gain of 15 sets it up 1st and goal for the Doors. Vanderbilt, they've been exceptional inside the red zone this year when they've gotten their opportunities. Smith in motion. Looking for the fade route to Graham in the end zone. Touchdown! Vanderbilt, and Jamie Graham is 2nd of the afternoon, and 2 spectacular catches.
It's a fade route to the wide side of the field, and this might be Mackenzie Adams' best throw of the game. He has to get it to the back pylon and give Graham a chance to go up high to get it. And look where he puts it, the only place he can, in the back corner. Brian Evans has no chance. It's an outstanding throw. And you said it, Dave, the young man Graham with another big-time catch for a touchdown.
Point after is up and good. Closed captioning provided by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. 21-14, Georgia out in front of this top 25 showdown here in the SEC Eastern Division. Georgia was out 21-7. Vanderbilt takes advantage of an interception at a short field and converts. Mackenzie Adams finds Jamie Graham for the touchdown. And as we had a chance to go back and look at that play a few times during that commercial break, that was one of the better throws, if not best throw, we've seen all season. Here's the kick. Remarcus Brown will take it inside the 5. And stopped at the 20-yard line. Well, all season long, Champion Apparel will be showcasing the tradition and history of the SEC. And today we visit with one of the traditions here at the University of Georgia on homecoming. And that's when all the cheerleaders make their way back to Athens. And that is Georgia's oldest living cheerleader, Curtis Beal, 86 years old. Cheered for Georgia back in 1941 and 42. Also saw one of an old teacher of mine. Miss Hester was in that group a minute ago. How about that? It's Carol Hester. Huge Georgia fan. Matthew Stafford under pressure right now. Tripped up at the 27-yard line, making the 28. Broderick Stewart with the tackle for Vanderbilt. How about me seeing that spot in that, Carol Hester?
I like that you threw a little shout out her way too.
You know, Lakeside High School, she used to run back in the hood. You knew I had to get a Lakeside shout out in there, didn't you? You knew it was coming.
Yeah. The grade's staying the same, by the way. She's not changing the grade.
Sorry. That's C average. Inside handoff to Sutherland. That gets maybe a yard. That'll bring up a 3rd down and short. Moreno comes out. Caleb King checks in for the Dogs.
And Matthew Stafford just barked at his offensive line. He's trying to implore them to, let's go now. We're in a football game. He got pressured on that 1st down pass. He scrambled out, and then that run, Vanderbilt limited them to nothing there. Easy for me to say.
You got it out. You did a nice job. So out of the eye, it'll be a toss sweep to King, and he is hit immediately and dropped for a loss of 4. Rashad Langford, the safety, along with Broderick Stewart. And it's a loss of 4, and now the Dogs will have to punt. How about that play? Langford came flying in.
Yeah, Bruce Fowler gambles here a little bit, and Langford's going to blitz off the edge to the wide side of the field. They know that that's Georgia's favorite play, that little toss play, and he beat Cordy Lynn to the point. It was the same play that Cordy Glenn made the block on that got Moreno in the end zone.
Ryan Mims will punt it away. His first punt, his first and only punt, traveled 49 yards. End over end kick. Very returnable if Jamie Graham can hold on to it, and he does. And Graham hit and dropped back at the 37, a 52-yard punt. But Vanderbilt has the football. Geico is canvassing the country this year to get the fans' input on all the best moments of the 2008 football season. For tour updates, tour schedules, and your chance to take the Geico Best of 2008 fan poll, check out bestofcollegesports.com. Well, here come the Commodores, and they had a short field, but to be able to convert, what does that do for this offense now?
Well, it's tremendous because remember they had a 70-yard drive to close out the half for a touchdown. They get the turnover, push that across, so they're operating at a high level, and it's only going to go as far as the confidence level their quarterback, Mackenzie Adams, can take them.
Vanderbilt with 196 total yards of offense. Georgia up over 300. Adams all day to throw, lobs it up looking for Smith off his fingertips, and a flag comes in at the 40. Prince Miller was on the coverage of George Smith.
Let's see if Prince Miller gets that left hand on the back. They're looking at that left arm. Where is the left arm? The left arm grabs the hip, and no question about it, it's a good call.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic 1st down.
Here's a look at that Vanderbilt last drive that started with an interception.
The ball batted in the way, acrobatic play by Myron Lewis, then the big conversion to George Smith on the crossing route, and then the throw you talked about, Dave, drop it down the chimney, right on Jamie Graham in the back corner of the end zone.
I mean, it was exceptional coverage by Evans, and if that throw is 6 inches further, Graham's probably out of bounds.
The perfect spot. He knows to throw it in that back corner, and that's where Graham's going to go get it.
So 1st down and 10 now for the Commodores. Adams going up top. Looking for Walker, overthrew him by a few yards. It'll be 2nd down. Asher Allen on the coverage.
Allen with the coverage. 2nd and 10.
3:52 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Mackenzie Adams today, 11 out of 19 for 107 yards and a couple of touchdowns. As you look at our 1st and 10 line, brought to you by IKBI Incorporated, Igby, building vision, building relationships. Second down and 10. Pass is caught by the tight end, Brandon Barton. It's 4.5. Rashad Jones in on the tackle. Jones now with 8 stops and an interception today.
Now, one thing you got to be impressed with, as Georgia has got a quarterback that's got a little confidence right now, Mackenzie Adams. Mackenzie understands he took the shot on first down. He has to come back and get something on second down to put him in a manageable third down situation. He's done that all day. Done an outstanding job of keeping him in a good conversion opportunity here.
On their last drive, they converted a 3rd down and 8. This time they're looking at a 3rd and 5. Adams, and it should have been picked off by Vance Cuff, the sophomore out of Moultrie, Georgia. It hit him right in the numbers.
He wanted George Smith, but he got hit just as he was getting ready to let go of the ball, which meant he couldn't pull down through and get it to his target. He's going to get hit just as he lets it go right there, and he cannot pull it down to George Smith. And Vance Cuff is the young man that had an opportunity to pick one, and had he picked that, he had a lot of room to run. Georgia keeps their defense on the field just in case there might be something fake or something.
Upson's punt through the arms of Logan Gray and down. There we'll say a touchback. Vanderbilt wants it down at the 1, but that won't happen. That looked like he went right through the legs of Logan Gray. That was a strange play. That was one of the best
acting right
yeah, I was
there.
going to say one of the best bluffs I've ever seen. Well, here's a look at our Nissan Heisman in the SEC, and when you come here, one name comes to mind: Herschel. The Wrightsville, Georgia native won the 1982 Heisman Award. He ran for 17 touchdowns and almost 1,800 yards that year as a junior. He ran for over 100 yards in every game back in 1982, except the opener against Clemson, in which he had a cast on a broken thumb. In 3 years, Arch, 16 school records, 41 SEC, and 11 NCAA records.
I was fortunate enough to play with Herschel in Philadelphia, and he was the consummate pro, too. Great teammate.
Here's Stafford out of the shotgun. Across the middle to Knowshon. Picks up 10. Chris Marvin on the tackle for the Commodores.
Well, this is the part that Knowshon Moreno, you saw the catch there. There's the numbers that reflect, I mean, how many carries Herschel Walker had. I mean, look at sophomore year, 209 carries through 6 games to Moreno's 105, over 1,000 yards. He was the definition of a workhorse. This kid here has a tremendous ability to carry the football. We just saw his other ability is to catch it out of the backfield. He has all the facets you want in a running back.
Came in with 11 catches on the season. He gives way to Caleb King. Here's King. He gets the corner and a first down. Patrick Benoit runs him out of bounds. Well, that basically just became a foot race between King and a linebacker.
Well, and Mark Richt told us yesterday that when Caleb King finally got on the field, that he was more elusive than he thought. Redshirt freshman, of course, he was on the practice squad last year. So when he finally got to see him work with the #1 unit, he says, wait a minute, this guy's got a little more shake to him than I thought. And you saw it right there.
I came away from that discussion feeling like King was more of a gamer than a practice guy.
He had a great career at Great Atlanta Christian in Atlanta, in Norcross.
Breaking out of a tackle, bouncing off a couple of white jerseys, and then dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Myron Lewis and Broderick Stewart combined for the stop for the Commodores.
It's a good job up front. Swimming to the inside. That defensive front, Greenstone, that time wins to the inside, and this defensive front's done a nice job of trying to hold their own.
You know, we've talked a lot over the years about Broderick Stewart's ability to rush the passer from his end position. A great athlete, but he's also mixing it up inside. I mean, you see some of that speed, but he's been involved in a lot of different kind of plays today.
I think this is one of those games where Broderick Stewart probably got in his mind, I better be able to stop the run today.
King dancing around. makes something out of nothing. Greg Billinger, the junior out of Lilburn, Georgia. How about Billinger making the tackle on King? Those two played together at Parkview High School. Just about 45 minutes from here in Athens. A couple of old teammates getting together on the gridiron here in Athens. I bet when they left here, they didn't think that this game, that they'd meet up on this field in this game in a top 25 showdown.
No, probably not.
Third down and 8 as the clock ticks inside 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Plays whistled in with a flag.
Looks like Clint Bowling might have popped up out of his stance.
Dead ball foul. False start. Number 60. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
So that'll move it back to third down and 13 now for the Dogs. And for Georgia, that's their 5th penalty today for 47 yards. And that is the end of the third quarter.
End of the third quarter.
We were a 7-point game at halftime at 14.
See you, Mark.
Look at Caleb King, 21-14. Georgia leads. Now we need to clarify something.
Yeah.
Is that you explain it?
Well, Caleb King transferred to Greater Atlantic Christian his junior and senior year, where he had almost 4,000 yards rushing, but prior to that had gone to Parkview High School and had a pretty good sophomore year. So we were both right. He was in both schools.
Right. We didn't want to confuse folks, which is what we do on a regular basis. Long throw, pass caught by Michael Moore. That'll be well shy of the first down. Look at our stats through 3 quarters, and Georgia with 161 yards on the ground, 134 more yards. But I think the thing that's kept this game close is the fact that the time of possession is relatively close between these two clubs.
Well, Vanderbilt's done a nice job of possessing the football, and they cashed in their opportunity on the interception.
So Mims will punt it away. Great coverage kick by Mims. DJ Moore will field it at the 15, and he's swallowed up right there. Excellent kick by Mims, and Darrell Gamble makes a special teams tackle for the Dogs. 37-yard kick. So 14-13 to play. DJ Moore and company down 7. With a couple of yards off the right side. Well, this football season, it's all about you, 10 friends, and a private jet. Enter the Alltel My Circle Gridiron Getaway for your chance to take 10 friends on a private jet to any regular season game. The ultimate VIP experience for your chance to win. Text GAME to 57533 or visit alltelfootball.com.
Second and 7 at the 17.
You know, I don't think you want to be too conservative here, but at the same time, you don't want to do anything foolish backed up here. I mean, how would you go about your business now on a second down and relatively long?
I think you continue to do. Mackenzie Adams does a nice job of finding the underneath throw. I think you give him that opportunity, or give it to DJ Moore.
Well, they play fake to Moore, and now Adams will throw it. Pass is caught by Jennings out to the 20, and that'll be shy of the first down by 4 yards. Jeremy Lomax knocks him out of bounds.
But once again, good fundamental defense by Georgia, not to be influenced by the fake to DJ Moore. And he stays on the field now. It's the first time we've seen DJ Moore, the outstanding defensive back, stay in the game. Two plays in a row on offense.
Moore will come to the near side.
Here's DJ Moore right here.
Hangs in there. Incomplete. Intended for Brandon Barden. Mackenzie Adams saying he thought Rashad Jones might have been holding his jersey.
Well, man coverage in the secondary. Georgia locks up, plays bump and run, and it is tight coverage.
Boy, real tight with a hand on the back of the jersey.
Brandon Barden being guarded by free safety Rashad Jones.
5 punts today for Brett Upson. He's averaging 44 per kick. Prince Miller stands at his 43-yard line. Georgia should have good field position. Good high coverage kick again. It hits at the 40 and takes a great Vanderbilt roll. Inside the 25. Well, what could have been great field position is now just mediocre field position out over the 20, but the Dogs do have the ball after the 57-yard punt. Be sure to join us next Saturday at 12:30 Eastern as Kentucky heads down to Gainesville to take on Florida. The Wildcats defense looking at a big challenge against that awesome Florida offense. Plan on joining us next Saturday at 12:30 Eastern. Be sure to check out SECRoadTripPlanner.com and find the quickest routes and all the info you need traveling around the SEC, provided by Regions Bank. Moreno back in the game. Stafford will throw, looking for A.J. Green. Stafford hits the deck on that throw.
Greenstone hammered him coming out of that one, Buzz.
Odd right there, Arch. Mark Rick was talking to us about the new clock rules and about the fact that, you know, if you get ahead, you can really milk it. You'd think this is the time when you would get more than a steady diet of Knowshon Moreno. I think it's the biggest drive of the game for Georgia because you don't want to keep Vandy hanging around. And if Vandy can get a stop and get the football back, they've got the option of maybe going to a run series with a Chris Nixon and maybe trying to throw a curve at Willie Martinez's defense.
Yeah, Buzz, and you know they had a 17-play drive, 10 minutes and 56 seconds off the clock in the fourth quarter against Tennessee last week, so you know they can do it. And now they run a toss sweep, and Vandy able to swarm Moreno, and now you're looking at a 3rd down and long.
Well, it's a very odd situation. Buzz, you're down there on the field. It's a very quiet, docile Sanford Stadium right now.
Yeah, it really is. I think people sitting back on their heels a little bit. You know, they remember 2 years ago, the last time Vandy was here. They kept hanging around. They stayed in the game until the fourth quarter, and they won it. And I think there's an awful lot of uneasiness here on the part of the faithful.
Georgia just 1 out of 5 on 3rd downs today. Georgia, the best team in the league, coming in to this contest. Looking at a 3rd down and 11. Stafford throws a bullet down low, and that'll be incomplete. And the Vanderbilt defense forces a 3-and-out, and the Dogs will have to punt.
Well, it has to do with success on 1st down through an incompletion on 1st down and then getting on the run, and so now you're 3rd and long. And I don't care who you are, you're not going to convert a lot on 3rd and long, especially against a pretty tough defense with a secondary like Vanderbilt's. Now let's see if Georgia's done a good job of punting away from DJ Moore.
Double safeties for the Doors, and Sean Walker and DJ Moore. High kick, and Moore will take it, bounce off one Georgia Bulldog defender, and then still on his feet before he's finally brought down. Darius Dewberry finally brought him down. Bobby Johnson thought he might have been interfered with on his ability to catch the punt, but Vandy has the ball. $92,000 on hand as Georgia celebrates their 87th homecoming, and some Vanderbilt fans decided to be a part of the festivities as well, as their Commodore team, ranked in the top 25 with a 5-1 record, matching the Dogs, has the football down 7. Here goes DJ Moore. DJ dancing around. Look at the elusiveness of this player. And tackled from behind. He'll pick up 6 before Rashad Jones brings him down.
Well, we mentioned how versatile DJ Moore is. Here he is carrying the ball early in the game on the ground. We just saw him carry one a few minutes ago. Here's a big interception. Massaquoi was open. He was able to get back and get it. And then, of course, here's what he's known for. He leads the SEC in punt returns. He is so elusive. That's why they try to get him the ball as many ways as they can.
We'll take a break now, as he has been on the field a ton. He'll probably end up with more plays today than he's had in a game all season. Here's Hawkins. 2 yards shy of the 1st down line. Rennie Curran with his 7th stop today. Curran came in with a team best 47.
Tackles led by Curran.
Dave, I think this is a huge play in the game. Anytime you're in a third down situation, but the way Vanderbilt has been able to flip the field with the kicking game, there's an opportunity here now for them to get inside Georgia territory if they can get a conversion and really put the Bulldogs on the defensive, literally.
Vanderbilt 4 out of 11 on third downs. The crowd will tell you if they make it. And it is quiet in Sanford Stadium after Jared Hawkins rumbles for the first down inside Georgia territory. A pickup of 14 before Gamble brings him down.
Georgia loses their leverage to the outside. Right there, Bird comes up from the safety spot. He gets leverage back to the inside, and Hawkins sees it and slides out. Watch Bird get pinned to the inside right there. Hawkins sees it, slides back outside. Good, intelligent running by Jared Hawkins to pick up the first down.
And a good block by 66 Eric Hensley, the junior out of Clinton, Tennessee, pitting C.J. Bird back to the inside. Here's Walker, a little reverse, back to a little flea flicker. Back to Adams, nowhere to go, just throws it up. And, boy, that was a scramble from the snap. Jamie Graham tossed it back to Adams. And it looks as though Gamble's slow to get up.
He's fortunate enough this wasn't picked off. A double reverse, little flea flicker like you said, Dave. He wanted Barton to tight end down the sideline, but he just threw the ball into a crowd. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
You know, Arch, I just wonder. I know that Ted Kane's up there trying to dial anything in he can, but, you know, this Vanderbilt offense has been able to establish a rhythm or something. And, you know, nice to take a shot, but if you're looking at it from a Vanderbilt perspective, you hope that doesn't, you know, that gets you behind the chains and doesn't go ahead and put you behind the sticks.
Yeah, and here's where you got to trust your quarterback, Buzz, and you're talking about playing behind the sticks. It's 2nd and 10 now. Mackenzie Adams has done a great job on 2nd down of minimizing that 3rd down opportunity and finding something underneath to keep him in a good situation.
Once again, Gamble left the game earlier today, went flying over a Vanderbilt player and trying to make a sack and kind of tweaked his back a little bit, and now he's slow to get up again. Remember, he's replacing Ellerby, the senior middle linebacker, who's out with an injury today. Well, go to RaycomSports.com for a variety of SEC football highlights and features, archived video, sweepstakes, podcast, and information on our SEC Game of the Week. RaycomSports.com, your link on the web to the SEC. Gamble today with pressure, a pass broken up, and 5 tackles as he makes his way to that Georgia sideline. And 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Commodores.
They've gotten Georgia to sub in their nickel unit. Let's see if they run against the nickel.
Walker in motion. They'll go inside handoff to Jennings, and that play is blown up by Corby Irvin, the senior out of Augusta, Georgia. Just beat his man and caused some havoc.
Yeah, just did not get him blocked to the inside. Defensive tackle Corby Irvin wins to the inside. So now they're faced with 3rd and long, and this is something they have not had to deal with most of the game.
See what Bobby Johnson has on that play sheet on a 3rd down and 11. You look at our Academy Sports down and distance marker. Pressure comes from everywhere. Adams just has to launch it up. And that'll be a 4th down coming up for Vanderbilt, and the Dogs defense has apparently held.
Well, Dave Baker said just a few moments ago this team doesn't play well behind the sticks. It's 3rd and 11, and there was pressure from everywhere. Corby Irvin, we just mentioned his name on the play prior, but he was involved in the pressure there, and really no chance for Adams to set up and throw the football.
Upson having a great day, averaging 46 yards a kick. And he has punted 6 times today. Logan Gray stands back to return it to 10. A little pooch punt that hits at the 11. And the Doors will down it at the 5 with 8 minutes and 29 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. We'll see what happens when we come back to Athens. Today's game is brought to you by Alltel, the official wireless partner of fans. Well, we thought we were going to have a pretty good matchup, and that's what we've had today. Georgia, though, backed up at their 5-yard line. Vandy's defense has played pretty well, with the exception of that opening third-quarter drive when Georgia moved at 75 yards for a touchdown. Other than that, they basically shut down Georgia. Had a 3-and-out. Georgia's last possession. They'll hand it off to Moreno. Knowshon knows what to do with it. Find some room and pick up the first down out over the 15 to the 19-yard line. Patrick Benoit with the tackle.
It's coming straight at you. Knowshon going to run to daylight. Little cut back there and then find a crease straight up the field. Good job. Aaron White, the big tight end, freshman tight end, getting a block there to help Knowshon free up. There's that second half possession story, and Dave Neal just talked about that long drive to start the half. Other than that, Vanderbilt has controlled the tempo here in the second half.
13-yard pickup for Moreno, now with 139 yards on 19 carries. We'll get another carry. And it's another big gainer. Give him 14. Myron Lewis brings him down. The only way to slow down Moreno is to take his shoe off. I don't even know if that works.
Well, Vanderbilt's doing all they can do. They've got 8 men around the line of scrimmage. Rashard Langford, the safety, blitzes to the outside, but he got a good block from Chappis, the fullback, on Marv, the middle linebacker, that freed him up.
There's the Moreno family, his grandmother in there. Knowshon said he's a big pasta guy. His grandmother always makes him some pasta when she can get down here to Athens. That handoff goes to Sean Chappis, the fullback. They'll take it close to the 40-yard line. That'll set up a second down at about 4.5.
That's what you call giving the big fella a crumb. He's out there blocking, knocking people down. You give the big guy a crumb, keep him going.
Gain to the 39. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
You know, he loves, we talked earlier about Mark Richt loving the fullback. He says, you know, I love my tailbacks to have a lead blocker. I want to give them a chance. When you got tailbacks like Moreno and King, yeah, you want to give them a chance. Play action. Well, if that was a crumb a minute ago, he just got the whole sandwich, did Sean Chappis. Chris Marr brings him down, first down Dogs.
Well, on cue, you just talked about how he likes to throw to the fullbacks, and this is a nice little misdirection. Fake the sweep left, Chappis slips out to the wide side of the field. Easy throw for Stafford. Chappis and Sutherland, outstanding receivers from the fullback spot.
And once again, when Georgia's able to run the football, the play action becomes so much more effective. And it's pretty much when they've run the play action, they've completed these passes. Georgia's had some guys wide open. This time it's King coming to the near side. Caleb King still on his feet inside the 40. Run out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
And another good block from Chappis, working against Benoit, the linebacker, to allow Caleb King now to find some running room.
Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Dave, great call by Mike Bobo up in the Georgia booth. They ran that off tackle play right where Alex Washington was rushing on a blitz from the outside. Washington was past the play. They come underneath it. Big gain for the Dogs.
Play clock down to 7, down to 6. I think Georgia's going to use a timeout.
Timeout, Georgia.
First charge timeout.
So 5:19 on the clock. And we'll take a timeout as well. Back in a moment. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Raycom Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Raycom Sports is prohibited.
First and 10 Dogs at the 36.
Well, about the same number of plays, but a big discrepancy in the average per play.
Now Georgia's cranked up the run game here in the second half.
Georgia's picked up 206 yards on the ground. Trying to add a few more, going to the fullback, Chappis. Chris Marv makes another stop. But you know, this is a classic example though of the new clock rules. Chappis goes out of bounds, but the clock continues to run.
Now the 40-second clock, very different here than it is in the NFL. In the NFL, they stop it in the final 5 minutes of the second half, whereas it doesn't stop if a guy goes out of bounds, that is. And if a guy goes out of bounds now in college game, it stops in the 2 minutes, the final 2 minutes.
Stafford milking that play clock. 4.5 to go in the game. Snaps it with 1, and there's Caleb King driving for the first down. Inside the 25 to the 24. Our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game deals with some rushing in the Southeastern Conference. You look at the top individual performances on the ground. Glenn Coffey went for 218 against Kentucky. Of course, broke off that long run against the Wildcats. And you look at the leading rushers, and Michael Smith. Not many people expected Arkansas to have much of a running game without Felix Jones and Darren McFadden, but there's Michael Smith at 119 a game.
Yeah, monster game last week against Auburn. 176 yards on the ground for Michael Smith, and Knowshon closing on his highest rushing performance of this season.
King will get the carry here. Yeah, Knowshon will go up over an average of 100 after his performance this afternoon. And a lot of that credit can go to the offensive line of the Dogs. And for more on that, let's go down to Dave Baker.
Yeah, Dave, I think it's a really critical point in the season for Georgia in terms of what they want to accomplish. Preseason number 1, you got a patchwork offensive line now that is being asked to finish a game. We heard Mark Richt yesterday talk about how much is on Stafford in terms of setting the run game. So with not only this game being so important, but with LSU and Florida looming the next 2 weeks, it's going to be critical for the confidence of this group, whether or not they can go ahead and finish this thing off as they're just outside the red zone.
The Dogs will go with a couple of tight ends out of the eye. And Moreno will take it inside the 20 down to the 19. Take a look at the Hampton Hotel's upcoming schedule for this Georgia Bulldog team. And Vanderbilt takes a timeout, but of course, you know, here comes Murderers Row for this Georgia club at LSU. Then Florida and Jacksonville, at Kentucky, at Auburn, and then they finish up with Georgia Tech here. Actually, they like to finish up in the Georgia Dome with the SEC championship.
Right.
But, you know, there's some work to be done by this offense at Georgia.
And you have to play every week, Dave. Yeah, this was a tough football game with Vanderbilt, and Mark Richt knew that. He knew coming in that playing Vandy today was going to be very difficult. So it's every week. You got to get prepared every week in the SEC to play.
Well, our Hampton Hotel's upcoming schedule for the Commodores. They will leave the league and take on Duke. And, of course, Duke, no walkover with David Cutcliffe leading those charges. And then Florida, Kentucky, Tennessee, and they finish with Wake. And, I mean, when they scheduled those games 7-8 years ago, you're not thinking Wake's going to be this kind of powerhouse that they've developed into under Jim Grove. But that could be a big-time game.
Yeah, big opportunity, and you're talking about bowl games in the balance, maybe.
Vanderbilt 1 win away from bowl eligibility, but how interesting. Georgia takes a timeout right after the Vanderbilt timeout with 3:03 to play. We'll return after the message from the SEC. 21-14. Dogs facing a 3rd down and 5. And both teams with 1 timeout remaining. Basically, with the new clock rules, if Georgia picks up a 1st down here, the game is basically over.
And I would think that Vandy's going to sell out to stop the run.
And Georgia will throw. Stafford scrambling and just throws it out of bounds. And that'll stop the clock with 2:56 to go. And that'll bring out the field goal unit. And today, Blair Walsh has already missed 1 from 40 yards. Look at our Honda Red Zone, powered by the Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience.
Yeah, remember they struggled against Tennessee. Only got 2 touchdowns in 7 trips today. they've been able to take care of business, but Vanderbilt rises up here and forces the field goal attempt.
A 37-yard attempt by Blair Walsh, who's 10 out of 13 this season, the freshman. Snap is good, the hold is good, and that's off the upright, and it's no good, and the Doors have another life left in Athens. I think we may be the jinx. We saw Ryan Suckup of South Carolina, one of the best in the country, go 1 out of 5 last week.
Well, this is the kind of the charmed season that Vanderbilt has led this year. They've had opportunities. Teams have moved the football against them, but have not been able to finish drives. Here's another example of not being able to execute in the special teams game, and a field goal for all intent and purposes would have sealed the football game. Now gives Vanderbilt an opportunity, if they can move it and put it in the end zone, to send this to an extra stanza.
1 timeout left for Vanderbilt. Out of the shotgun, a 4-receiver set over the middle. Pass is caught by the running back Hawkins out at the 26-yard line. Gamble back on the field. He's left a couple of times today with an injury, but now you're looking at a 2nd down and 4.
And really no reason for Mackenzie Adams to rush. 2:30 left in the game. He's got 1 timeout in his pocket. Just wants to move the chains.
Adams passes, batted in the air and nearly picked off by Rashad Jones. That hit Barden right in the arms.
Yeah, and Bobby Johnson took a step out onto the field and hollered at Barden, come on, you know, we got to have that well-thrown ball from Mackenzie Adams. He's just trying to move the chains. It's right on the money. Good job of getting it out of there by Rashad Jones.
Well, with 2:21 left and only 1 timeout remaining, this is obviously 2-down territory.
I would think so.
Adams will throw. Looking for Sean Walker. It's incomplete. No flags. Van's cuff on the coverage.
And you might wonder, why do you sprint out there? Georgia's done a good job of blitzing and coming after the quarterback on 3rd down. They wanted to give Mackenzie Adams an opportunity to get it away, but great coverage on the outside on the 2 out routes.
So now Ted Kane trying to dial up a 4th down. Vanderbilt's only attempted 1 4th down conversion this year.
Well, if you're Georgia, the guy you want to lock up on is George Smith. Smith's been the conversion guy. He's in the slot. Right here's George Smith. He's been the bailout guy for Mackenzie Adams today.
Georgia with a blitz. Adams over the middle. Pass is caught by Graham, but I don't think he got it. The spot is going to be very close. Asher Allen hit him. And the Dogs hold with 2:08 to play.
Again, good pressure by Georgia up front. Graham catches the football. And Asher Allen does a good job of hitting him and keeping him right where he caught it. Remember, every play is reviewed, so they're looking at the spot in the replay booth. And I would think this is one they're going to look at very closely.
The nose of the ball, we're sitting right about that yard line. Needed to touch the 30, and you see it's a half a yard shy of that. So now Georgia with 2:08 left.
Yeah, if I'm Bobby Johnson, I throw my challenge flag. It's your last chance.
Here's King. He'll lose some yardage. And Vanderbilt will use their final timeout. Broderick Stewart slow to get up again. Well, the last 2 games between these clubs have gone down to the wire, much like this one 2 years ago. Right here in Athens, we watched Brian Honfeld kick a 33-yard field goal with 2 seconds left for the 2-point win. And then last year, the Doors were driving and they fumbled inside the Georgia 10 with 2 minutes left. And then Matthew Stafford drove the Dogs 62 yards where Brandon Coutu hit a 37-yard field goal for the 20-17 win as time expired. The Doors led last year 17-7 at the half. Moreno would finish with 157 yards on the ground in his first career start at Georgia, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, they lost a lot of close games. They missed a field goal late against Tennessee to win that football game, but I think none of the games tore their heart out more than the Georgia game, because that was a game where they were going in to put the game away. They fumbled the football inside the Georgia 10, and then Georgia went down to win it with the field goal at the end.
So Vanderbilt can't stop the clock again. Here goes Moreno. He is dropped at the line of scrimmage. Here's Knowshon Moreno today, who has had another big-time performance with 159 yards on the ground.
Well, he's the engine, Dave. The big offensive line, they need to run the football to give the offensive line some confidence to put the play-action game in effect, and Knowshon is not disappointed. He's an effort guy, and he'll break your back if you let him.
7.2 average today, has 1 touchdown. That gives him 11 on the year. He came in leading the conference in rushing touchdowns and scoring. Look at Moreno go. Breaking a couple tackles. Down to the 22-yard line. And the 40-second clock starts. So there will be 20 seconds or near 20 seconds on the clock when Georgia will have to snap the ball.
Take a timeout.
Just run to daylight, and then Mark Richt just pulled the official over, and let's go down to Dave Baker.
Okay, Arch, what do you do here now? Do you go ahead and run? Do you try to get those 2 yards? Do you go ahead and line it up and have the freshman who was the top kicker in the country last year, who's missed 2, try to seal the deal?
There's no way I run my kicker out here.
Spoken like a true quarterback.
Well, last week we saw a blocked field goal return for a touchdown.
Right. There's no way. I think Mark Richt will try to get the first down.
You were all too willing to give the crumbs to the fullback earlier, but no love for the freshman kicker, who might be needed to win a game for you down the road.
Well, Mark Richt is thinking like you are, because he's sending Mims onto the field.
It's that bowling mentality of his, where you got to get the strike and the 10.
I wonder if he's using the second ball here.
We're referring to the fact that Mark Richt has started a bowling league on Thursday nights for his football team as a way to kind of relax after a hard week of practice and before you get ready for the game. And he said that 60 guys signed up for his bowling league on Thursday night, and half of them brought their own ball and shirts and shoes. He had no idea he had so many bowlers. And then we find out Mark Richt has 2 balls, his strike ball and his spare ball. He hopes this ball goes through the uprights this time. Blair Walsh has missed twice today. This will be from 39. The kick is on the way, and this one is good, and that will seal the deal for the Georgia Bulldogs.
And I think Buzz makes a great point about Mims banging that through. They're going to have some games where Mims is going to need to make, Blair Walsh is going to have to make some kicks for him, and Blair Walsh pounded that one through after missing a couple.
Walsh, the true freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, last week against Tennessee when he had a great afternoon. Spent the night in the hospital. He had some at the health center here on the campus of Georgia, had migraine headaches, and he just kind of showed up and said, yeah, I'll give it a go today for you, and put together a pretty good game against the Tennessee Volunteers with 4 field goals from 34, 20, 41, and 28 yards. So the story here is Georgia will improve to 6-1. They'll go to 3-1 in conference play. Vanderbilt will fall to 5-2 and 3-2. And they came on the road, and they had a chance. They had the football with 2.5 minutes to go in the game and just couldn't pick up a first down. Next week, we hope to have another close game, as we'll kick it off again at 12:30 Eastern as Kentucky heads down to Gainesville to take on those Gators and that big-time offense led by Tim Tebow and Percy Harvin and company. So join us next Saturday at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. Commodores came in here and fell behind like they have done every single Saturday here in 2008. And sooner or later, when you keep falling behind, it's going to come back and get you. And it's happened the last 2 games. They were able to win the first 5.
Well, this is the biggest deficit they'd fallen behind 14 points and just could not scratch their way back.
Little pooch kick that will hit it to 28. DJ Moore picks it up. Not much room to run, and he's dropped right there, and a flag comes in.
Flag is thrown.
With 11 seconds to go.
48, Greg Munzenmeyer, tackled floor.
You know, give a lot of credit. There was a drive on the second missed field goal today by Blair Walsh, which came in the fourth quarter here. Georgia went 11 plays and 77 yards and ate up 5 minutes and 19 seconds off the clock. A drive that started at their own 5.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 72, return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
But my point being, there were no points there, but yet I think that was a successful drive in a lot of ways.
No question about it. You eat that kind of clock, you keep your offense on the field, you keep that defense on the field, it's going to pay dividends down the stretch, and it paid dividends there when they had the long drive.
Mackenzie Adams, your thoughts on his play today as his first start this year?
Well, I thought he did a good job of keeping them in good situations. They had a number of third and short situations that they did not convert.
Here's Adams, just kind of lofts it up. It'll be incomplete, and that'll leave 4 seconds on the clock.
And Georgia, when they came with pressure, Vanderbilt had no answer for the blocking. They could not pick up Georgia's pressure. A little surprised Willie Martinez didn't come with more pressure, and he really dialed it up more late in the game when they had to. And obviously, the conversion play on fourth down, they come with pressure, and Mackenzie Adams is throwing it off his back foot, and they don't convert.
Well, this will more than likely be the end of the football game as Adams will dump it off. And that will do it. So Georgia picks up the win, 24-14 over the Vanderbilt Commodores. We'll come back, have more right after this.
Now, SEC Game of the Week has been brought to you by Bristol, by Chevrolet, by Advance Auto Parts, by Chick-fil-A, by Holiday Inn Express, and by Ruby Tuesday.
Georgia's 87th edition of Homecoming goes in the favor of the Bulldogs. They beat Vanderbilt 24-14. Our principal financial players of the game, of course, Mackenzie Adams getting his first starts this season. Completes 50% of his passes for 131 yards, 2 TDs. Knowshon Moreno of Georgia with 172 yards on the ground, a big-time performance. We will come back, put a wrap on things here at Athens, where the Dogs win it by 10. The Georgia Bulldogs hold on to beat Vanderbilt 24-14. The Dogs go to 6-1 on the year. Vanderbilt falls to 5-2. Don't forget, next Saturday we'll see you at 12:30 Eastern from Gainesville as the Wildcats head south. So for Dave Archer, Dave Baker, and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long, everybody, from Athens. You have been watching Raycom Sports' exclusive coverage of Southeastern Conference football.